Okay. Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. My name is Sadran Naeem. I'm from Sahiwal, Punjab, Pakistan, and my guest from the other country. So I'm very happy and I'm very glad to meet with him. So I just request to my guest to please introduce yourself. Over to you.
Hello, greetings everyone. I'm Charlie and I'm from Denver in the United States of America.
Wow. And the second amazing thing from my guest is this. He loved to humanity, and he loved to work with the decrease the poverty from the world. So this is the two basic thing. Please share something about your profession. Share something about your passion, like humanity, and you are the social activist.
So, in my professional life, what I do is I work in the entertainment field. I'm a stagehand and I set up different events and professional productions, and I make it so that it's a world-class event, and I bring entertainment and all the technology of entertainment to the people.
Great.
You're probably wondering what I do on the activism side of things. And what you'll find that I do mostly is I work with the homeless. I work in kind of a food kitchen, and we go in and we'll serve like 200 or 300 people a day here in Denver. I'm getting a message on my phone. Okay. So I also work with a number of different organizations that will assist people in getting on their feet if they are in extreme poverty. And that can include job placement, job training, housing assistance, and food, which is surprisingly one of the things that is universal around the globe, is that we are experiencing a strong separation of classes between, an extraordinarily wealthy, very educated class and an underclass. And that's one of the big things that we need to solve is wealth inequality in the world. And trying to figure out how to get the answers on how to do that.
Thank you. My answer is you're just getting me a very satisfactory answer. My next question is about your mission, about your dream, like decrease the poverty from the world. So, what is the basic 5 to 6 steps to decrease the poverty and improve the better lifestyle?
Well, there's a significant amount of educational disparity in the world. And I think that one of the things that we as a global community should be doing is making sure that everybody gets to a certain standard of understanding that the earth is a finite place. There are finite resources here, and that we need to not only be good stewards of the planet itself, but as of ourselves as a culture. And we need to be uniting the cultures around the world into one that values human life and that values the nature of the human spirit in such a way that cultures and traditions are respected and preserved, and the resources of the planet and the resources of the human brain trust and the collective spirit of humanity is united, so that we have a future, so that we can give our children the planet for many hundreds of generations to come. And that's really our biggest challenge, is bringing people together in such a way that technology unites us.
Yes, it's true, and this is the most important, and this is the very appealing uh, thing is between me and you. We are connected from the different countries. We are connected from the different directions
Almost
as well.
exactly on the other side of the world.
Yeah. So the second question: how we can use the technology uh, to improve the connectivity, to build the new relationship, and to collaborate with other peoples on the behalf of the business, collaboration, and education.
Okay, as far as education, I'm going to step out there and go really far out on a limb and say that we have a a number of different things that are coalescing into a more cohesive global sort of like language. We're not speaking Urdu right now, we're speaking in English, and I might say your English is really fantastic. um, and so eliminating the problems of the language barrier, and in the United States, we are on the imperial system of measurement. Like we use feet and yards instead of meters and decimeters. If we were to coalesce into one standardized unit of communication, of measurement, of all around the world, and make sure that the citizens of planet Earth have a standardized way of speaking to each other and a standardized way of measuring things, and a really common language of how to address what's going on, because it's our commonalities that are going to unite us, and it's what we have in common. My blood is red, and I look at the same sky, I look at the same sun, I look at the same moon, and we use the same printed circuit boards that are all made in China. um, and it's really important that we start as a planet coming together and deciding what we want our future to be. um, we have one planet, and there is one species here that has sentience. There's one species that has the power of mind to create this communication system that we're on. And the more we bring ourselves together and start building that as a society, as a global community, the more powerful and the more equitable the world that we're going to give to our children is. um and that's really who it's for. It's for them. It's not for us, it's for them.
Cool. So it's true. Technology helps us to connect with other. Technology helps us to teach uh, to other. Technology helps us to learn from each other according to their experiences, about their culture, about their behaviors. So, as a human activist, my next question is about your activism. What is the basic uh, needs of life? What do you think about this? How many basic needs? It's our right to live. It's our right to survive in this world.
Exactly, and that's a very tough one right now, Sidra. In the Western tradition, Abraham Maslow came up with a pyramid of needs, starting with our basic survival needs and moving up into the more social aspects. And what we need to do is make sure that every human being on planet Earth can get those basic survival needs met, so that we can set free the myriad Einsteins and the myriad um, Gandhis and the people in the world free to reach that pinnacle of getting our needs met, which results in self-actualization, which will really free the world. We really need to start addressing extraordinarily high amounts of poverty. And the way that I think that we can be doing this is there's new technology and additive manufacturing coming out, with like 3D printing of buildings and facilities and things like that. If we're to successfully utilize that technology to make sure that every human being that wanted one had the capability of having a home and possibly even a business, or having a meaningful existence, by having their needs for shelter and for food met, we would see a much more equitable planet. And as far as activists, and it's just getting those people who are underserved, and really have no way of having a voice for themselves. It's really a matter of getting the resources which are abundant on planet Earth, to those people, and in such a fashion that they know how to use them. That's where education comes in, and that's where, you know, a lot of the activism that I do is to make sure that everybody knows that, you know, they can improve their situation, and et cetera, et cetera.
What do you think that if we give a smartphone or a gadget to anyone, and give them a skills to make money through this technology, through social media, through the internet? So what do you think that the technology helps us to get out from this poverty line, or we need to do more for this?
That really depends on the level and of it's dangerous because it's a double-edged sword. If we just hand people the resources to do all these wonderful things without first instilling a sense of cultural responsibility and communal responsibility, it could go very dystopian very quickly, because for some reason humans have a desire for power, and the cure for that is educating in compassion, and educating in, you know, just altruism and the communal need for each other. And yeah, if we turn everybody loose with the power to, you know, make money, the question of intent, you know, are they going to, you know, pathologically hoard that money, or are they going to reinvest it in their communities? Are they going to reinvest it in their the children of their neighbors? Are they going to invest it in things that grow, instead of weapons? You know, are they going to invest it in ways to be good stewards to the planet we live on? It's all a question of what people's intent are on that, because it would be lovely to turn everybody loose with the means to absolutely personally eradicate poverty. And it's also a very dangerous thing.
I mean, your point of view is that education is the basic thing, then we need to do anything, then we need to skill them, right? Oh my God, that's a very cool thing. So, second question is about your last word is from the previous answer is you want to circulate the money. You want to circulate the money with other people who haven't enough money to survive. So, what's your strategy to divide or invest the money on that area, or on that side of the standard or the society where haven't any facility. So what's your plan to serve a specific money? Have you any plan? Suppose I just request to you, please tell us any plan. We are invest a little bit money as a specific money or the spare money on our society where they need really for this money and for the better lifestyle. So what's your strategy to circulate this money to that place where we need to invest?
There was a number of I forget what the organization was, but they were a series of banks that were giving microloans to women-run industries, and that was extraordinarily successful because the women would invest the money in their businesses, like, you know, in things like that. I think that was a really successful model, and I would love to get back with you on what that particular model was called, but it's not coming to my mind right now. That's been so far the most successful idea I've heard, is make strategic microloan investments in women-run businesses, because women, for some reason, are more likely to invest it in community and family than the gentleman of society, and for whatever reason that is, it's always been shown that investing in women-run businesses has been strategically successful in the long run.
Great. In Asian countries except China, most of Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, they are not forcing their women to work and share their burdens, financial burden with them. So what you suggest that, is it important the women are also working with the man and contributing to run a family, to brought up their children? So is it the responsibility equally from a lady or a male or a parent in a mutual?
It's really interesting that you bring that up. That's a deeply cultural question. Here in America, we have this, really mishmash of different cultures where we're escaping from under a centuries old patriarchy that has just kind of kept women subjugated in a really kind of oppressive way. And there was only one path, if you were female, to go down, and that was the homemaker and the child rearer and the the keeper of the household. And that has been shown to be ineffective, really. It's interesting because on the one side of things, from what I've experienced, you have the traditional gender roles of, the wife, the homemaker, etc. And on the other hand, you have this brand new philosophy of, like, let's empower women, let's put them in charge of companies, let's put them in charge of countries, let's put them in charge of, the resources of the world. And what we've been seeing is that those resources are more strategically invested for peace. Those resources are more effectively and efficaciously used for generative industries and not maybe wasted on the military or, more saber rattle.
Oh,
So
that's
yeah, forgive me for being a little bit of an ardent feminist.
I just read somewhere. I just read somewhere about America. Uh, there is a quotation. Uh, someone is right about American history is that if women are not work for America, America will never ever grow like this. America will never become a first empowered country in the world. So is it true that the only ladies can support, only ladies can boost up this country to work with them as a CEO of the companies or uh, as a business lady?
I wouldn't say it's a hard and fast rule that like you absolutely have to have ladies in control. I'm just saying things work out better that way. I mean, if you look at it from a perspective of evolutionary biology, and you dial it all the way back to the Paleolithic days where we were just started like immediately prehistorically where we are just getting into the point of being an agrarian culture. When we got out of the caves and everything, it was imperative that the women of society were just taking care of things like, okay, I have this many mouths to feed, I've got to make sure this works, I've got to make sure this, and there was a synergy between men and women back then, and nobody was higher than the other. And over the course of history, the balance is tipped, and that's unfortunate. There should be equality and equity in responsibility between the sexes. And yeah, I do believe that that the more that we empower women to have the same rights and the same position and standing as men in society, the more powerful in society our culture will be. Anyway, so moving on.
Cool. My next question is about your profession that you are,
How I make money.
Yeah, make money. That's an amazing thing. So, what do you think that the IT and the technology, the computer, internet, so these are very powerful tools are turning the business strategies after the COVID-19, especially. We are going to a mall for shopping, for grocery, something, but after the COVID, we just bring our smartphone and install some apps from the shopping, especially for the grocery thing. So, what do you think that technology take over the business strategies, or technology change the new revolution in the business community?
Well, we are on the cusp of an amazing time in human history. So much of what we do as humans to keep ourselves alive and happy and entertained and transported and is about to be automated. And the communication tools that make that automation possible are just coming into maturity. And what that means is that the internet, aside from the Internet of Things, the communication between devices, the communication device that's going to allow your car to drive itself, the technology that's going to allow your fridge or your refrigerator to discover when you're low on something and automatically order for you when the milk is low. When all of that comes into its final maturity and iteration, there will be very little menial work for us to do as human beings. Like the menial tasks, we need to eliminate the menial work. Like, I'm not talking about artisans. I'm not talking about like the anachronistic skills that need to be preserved as a matter of culture. I'm talking about the agricultural work, the factory work. I think that much of the boring stuff that we don't like to do as humans, the toil, the sweat, etc., will be eventually replaced with automation. And a critical component of that transformation is going to be people who know how to transition from a work economy into a brain trust economy, where it's not the sweat of your brow that's going to put food in your belly. It's the ideas that you have. It's the comprehension of scientific knowledge and the application of that knowledge towards the greater endeavors of humanity, getting off this planet, becoming a multi-planetary species, becoming, a spacefaring civilization that harvests the asteroids for the mineral content in the asteroid belt. That's the technology, and that's the information technology that we're going to need to convey to the next generation. And those are the challenges that our kids, that the folks that are just being born now are going to have to solve. And it's really their world. And the more we can educate them and convince them that there is the solution to this great problem of global poverty and insufficient resources, there's a solution to that. Like, our planet can support a population of what, like 50 billion with the current technology we have. And moving forward, once we get CRISPR technology to specifically modify the genetics of different crops so that we can have synthetic lubricants and hemp. We're doing amazing stuff with hemp. But once we really get the like, how is this, the Neuralink technology that Elon Musk is coming up with, once we figure out how to empower our society with that level of gnosis, with that level of comprehension, then we'll be able to do some truly magical things. If you'll excuse me, my friend is trying to help me out here. I'm actually in my bus conversion right now, and so I'm getting the shore power put in. So if you'll forgive me, I'm gonna put my window down here. Thank you for your patience. But yeah, that's the end of my rant. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for your time. But in the last, this is the Connecting the World program, where we connect with other people who live from the different countries. And we believe that we need to connect with other. We need to learn from other because they have their own experiences with in different cultures and different knowledge, as well as the different environment. So, any message for my audience who's are watching you and who will be watching after this recording? So,
Thank you so much.
any message from my audience who believe that the connecting thing is a positive and the connecting thing is a the humanity believes and the humanity attachment. So, any message?
I believe in the power of the world to come together as one planet and to effectively and fairly distribute the responsibility of being good stewards of this planet amongst all of us. And I believe that the power of love between one human to another and the power of friendship and brotherhood is what's going to unite us as one planet and get us off this planet and keep us going into the future. And thank you. Just thank you for sharing this consciousness with me.
So nice of you. Thank you. God bless you. And once again, thanks for giving time and sharing a very fruitful information with us and with our audience. Take care. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.